Oh. What is the difference between an event, a movement, and development? Please share with me in the chat what the difference is between an event, a movement, and development. Wait, we're supposed to think in meaningful mornings? I thought we're supposed to passively just be here and then we'll be enlightened. The frequency of engagement, the momentum, the practice, good. The difference is functionally, an event happens monthly. A movement happens weekly. Development happens daily. I didn't understand this fully until we commenced Meaningful Mornings. I used to be in awe about how impactful study groups are, weekly study groups. When we commenced Meaningful Mornings, which was not weekly, but daily, I came to understand and appreciate that change in the world, and most definitely in our inner world, only happens when you practice daily. With inspiration, reflection, now contemplation, when this is development, then we develop. Do you all agree? I feel so. This morning is our 100th morning together in 2022. We have completed chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. We've completed chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. This morning, we complete 54 mornings on Dhyana Yoga. We did flow through every verse of chapter 6 with more. Before chapter 6, there is concentration. After chapter 6, contemplation. 54 is a sacred number in our culture. And so we've designed our immersion in Dhyana Yoga accordingly. This morning, we complete 2 weeks of our contentment challenge. More than 200 seekers around the world are making Dhyana Yoga their lifestyle with contemplation, conversation, concentration, contribution. In the Contentment Challenge, our crew has facilitated a calendar where you're invited to be part of this challenge. Our crew has created a call. It's like an alarm. 6 a.m., contemplate. 12 p.m., conversate. I hope all of you have been exposed to that calendar and that call Yes, the conch, the flute, the saxophone. It has been 1 week since we initiated running from the mind. And we already have 40 seekers who have committed to moving their body 21 kilometers. How much training would be required for that? I hope this will grow to 60. What I'm trying to share with everyone is how special you are, and I generalize you as community. In year 1 of Meaningful Mornings, I felt our community was ascribed the word safe. Our community was a safe space, a safe time when there was so much unknown in terms of a virus and closures and so on. In year 2 of our community, we were ascribed the word philanthropy. We raised incredible amounts of funds, not for us, not for our community, I mean. We did this for society. So many women's shelters that we supported and so on. On that note, on Thursday, in our 100 Steps to Infinity class, I had shared with all of the students, and that's one of our biggest courses, that the next day is Earth Day. And in our campaign, we have planted and funded less than 5,000 trees. But I told everyone, tomorrow magic is going to happen. And when I say things like that, I see everyone roll their eyes, and there's Vivekji again, living in his own world. Yesterday on Earth Day, our community completed planting and funding the planting of 12,097 trees. Just us, look around. I'm not saying I went to some corporation and said, give me money. We did this. And I'm sure by Arbor Day, which is a week from yesterday, I know that number will grow to 18,001 and one. Imagine every community did that. Every school, every Monday. We would be living for generations then, not just for 10 years. This year, we are now in year 3 of Meaningful Mornings. The word that we are ascribing to ourselves is development. Our community is not allowing each other to be out of satsang for even a moment. In the morning, in the day, at night, for your body, for your mind, for your intellect. These are fitting thoughts as we complete an entire section of Bhagavad Gita and transition to a new section, which will take another 1.5 years. This is your final opportunity to ask any questions you have about contemplation, about this being safe, this being philanthropy, this being development. Any questions? From Washington, D.C. Hari Om Vivekji, thank you. I am having hard time when it comes to observe my ego, and please help me with this struggle. Thank you very much. Firstly, become more organized in whatever you're doing with your day, with your week. Become more organized. Use a paper planner. Take notes in the courses you're in. Let that become deeper to you being an observant personality. You actively listen. You pay attention to how you keep your shoes, how dishes are put away, those kinds of matters. That will deepen to you being observant of your inner world. First your memories, then your thoughts, then your decisions. And that momentum, one of you used the word momentum, that momentum will go to you observing you. Right now, you feel that you're the ego, which is a lie. And what we're trying to do is expose that lie so you'll start to observe you. When I was in the Vedanta course, revelation for me, it was shocking in a most uplifting way. I felt like I can hold my mind in my hands. Like I can manipulate my left hand. I can stretch it. I can break it if I wanted to. I can do what I want with my hands. They're gross. They're tactile. I started doing that with my mind. I could hold it. I could change it. I could watch it. And that all came from practicing what we're learning. And this is a reason why I am not afraid of my mind anymore. Because I know I can do what I want with my mind. So this is the level of observation that we should be training for. And one more insight relating to this. I think I shared in Meaningful Mornings. Lying to another person is harmful. I tell that to our kids all the time, that when you lie, other people are not going to want to be around you. But more harmful is when you lie to yourself, because it can be justified. And no one will know that other than those who are really sensitive, but you will know that. And it makes you weaker and weaker and weaker. So this notion of you being the ego is a lie. And you have to feel that this is a lie. Observation is a way where you start to feel that you're disgusted with how you have felt for decades in this lie. From Albany. Pranam Vivekji. I feel that I will spend a lifetime only on purification and preparation stage and not reach the actual contemplation. I'm so distracted, disorganized, and obviously disillusioned. Even in secular, that tapping into fundamentals seems impossible, despite all the grace and guidance in life. By the time my equipments are ready, I would have done so many mistakes and carved way many more vasanas. How many of you can relate to this question? That would be my first perspective, is you are not alone. All of us feel this all of the time, or all of us feel this sometimes. Next is, your question shows how observant you are of the inner lie, which shows that you're working on undoing it, correct? For the typical person, they don't even know there's an inner lie. So the fact that you know this, that shows that you have worked on this and you will continue to do so. Another perspective, just work on purification. Forget about preparation. Forget about personalization. Here's Vivek, who has invested 54 days on personalization, and I'm telling you, forget about it. Because if your purification is sound, that will naturally lead to preparation, which will naturally lead to personalization. Remember yesterday I shared what was special about meaningful mornings, how there's no exchange. You're not registered, I'm not paid. There's no expectation, which helps us to dissolve deservership. You don't deserve anything from meaningful mornings, nor do I. This is a non-deservership, which also then means a non-doership space. What's harming you is you feel that you should have this result. I should be this enlightened by this time. I should be this pure. Tell me, how are you gauging that? How do you measure that? That's the letting go of the dropping that is required for you to feel less disillusioned. You are taking a secular mindset or narrative and trying to force this into the sacred. Force doesn't work. Okay? From Houston. Hariom Vivekji. If you truly believe and have no doubts about the Mahavakyas, what should I be inquiring about during contemplation? Can I go to observing without inquiry? Thank you. Yes. If your body is healthy, you don't have to relax your body, right? If you don't have breathing problems, you don't have to naturalize your breath. It's already natural. For Vivek, presently, my body is healthy enough and my breath is healthy enough. I don't need to go through the thought massage. I don't have to naturalize my breathing because I don't do pranayama. I never control my breathing because I feel I should rather invest in directing my thoughts. So for Vivek, those I just bypass, not out of arrogance, but rather that training is already set. For you, it may be you don't have to chant with the mind. Your mind is just like that. So go to where you need to invest. And for you, you have such a faith in the Mahavakyas, done. Your intellect has become still, just observe that. Last question from Buffalo. We're so close physically, but still there's a border between us. Hariom Vivekji, I understand how to observe thoughts, but am still finding it hard to understand what observing the intellect means. What does observing the intellect mean in a practical sense, and how do we do this? I love such questions because the question itself implies that everything that has been shared is impractical. I get 54 days of teaching, but be practical. The extrovert intellect instructs. In our scriptures, it's called desire. But I feel in a more relative sense, it's instructs. Isn't that what our intellect is always doing? Planning, thinking about the next moment. We have to do this, we have to go there, we have to arrange this, we have to organize this, especially a lot of us who are volunteers, right? So much event management, movement management, and so on. Observe that. Observe what the intellect is doing. And the more you observe it, the more you will realize what it is doing is wrong. You can't desire joy. You can't create joy. You can't instruct or plan for joy. That observing almost sucks out the power from the intellect, so it becomes still. My parents are coming home on Monday after like 3 months. And so I was charging their car because the battery has been depleted. And the kids may have COVID, so they're at home with us. So they were in the back seat and the car wasn't starting. And Shuka kept on saying, why is it so quiet? Because every car he's been in, the engine has been on, it's been moving. So he's asking why it's so quiet. Because the power has been sucked out of that battery. So it is quiet. If the power of the intellect is sucked out by your observation, it will be still. Good connection? So much to learn in every experience, correct? Later on today, we have our Vanaprastha Samvada workshop. This is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Be part of that. We'll be focusing on ahara, which means as you input, so you develop. Commencing tomorrow, we will have our freedom talk. Concentration at 7:15 and conversation at 7:30 will change. From 7:45 to 8, as is usual in Meaningful Mornings, we will only have conversation. In tomorrow's Freedom Talk, we will resume using Facebook and Instagram. Tomorrow, hopefully, Shankarji will reflect, because you won't get a chance to see him or listen to him post tomorrow for some time. And on Monday, we commence One with One. I shared with all of you on the completion of year 2 of Meaningful Mornings that my gift to you for being special is there are hundreds who join us for Meaningful Mornings, but I want to be available personally, individually, not just collectively, communally. One with One was made available to all of you last Sunday. And my crew told me that in 3 days, 3 weeks of this One with One time was filled up. And I wrote to our crew, this is a very powerful observation about how integrated our community is, how close we all are. Meaningful Mornings will take a pause starting on Saturday, May 14th. We will complete the middle of chapter 7 on Friday, May 13th. We'll take a pause for some time and we will recommence. I believe it's Wednesday, June 1st. When we recommence, more opportunities for One with One will be shared with all of you. As we transition to our final contemplation together, for now, I'm going to read to you a verse from Kaivalya Upanishad, which really summarizes our 54 days together. This is the first kanda, the 5th mantra for those who want to study more independently. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh. 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 Vivikta deshe. Be in a space of solitude. cha sukhasanastaha. In this space of solitude, sit in a firm and comfortable way. Shuchihi. This space that is filled with solitude should be clean, simple, inspiring. Sama, griva, shiraha, shariraha. As one is sitting in a firm and comfortable way, one's head, neck, and back should be in a line, should be aligned. Atyashrama staha. One's sentiment should be to be beyond all sentiments. That one is not of a certain varna or personality, not of a certain ashrama or position. No citizenship, no sexuality, no external identification. Sakalendriyani nirudhya. All of one's senses are disengaged. They're calm, cool, collected. Bhaktya swagurum pranamya. With deep respect and love and reverence, remember your Sadguru, because of whom any sort of purification, preparation, personalization is possible. With deep respect and love and reverence, remember your Sadguru is in your life because of your Bhagwan. Your original parent is guiding you through her, through him. Hrit pundarikam, feeling in one's heart. Virajam, the presence which is perfect. Vishuddham, the presence which is beyond purity. Vichintya, contemplate. Do not think about this, which is chinta. Vichintya, become this. Madhye, become this as oneself. Whoever you feel I is, let I become this. Vishadam, be clear about this, that your nature is beyond clarity, no limits. Vishokam, this presence, your presence, is not subject to stress, anxiety, dejection. You are not to experience, to accept, to succumb to moha, bhaya, shoka. You are vishoka. You are joy. Be joy. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.